And GAIN stands for Global Aid Network, as we're just that. We're a network of people providing global aid. So when we're thinking about where to send donations that we receive, we always want to ensure that we know where our items are going, and that they're being distributed fairly and indiscriminately in line with our vision of demonstrating unconditional love. So we work in really close partnership with various local NGOs or organisations across Europe who form part of our network and who are supporting people in poverty and crisis. So when there is a need, we try our best to help by sending what is most needed to those who most need it. So over the last 12 months, this has meant that we've sent items to refugees in camps in Greece, to refugees on the move in Bosnia, and also to a Roma community living in poverty in Romania. Building long-term partnerships with the NGOs on the ground means that we're not only providing short-term relief, but that we have opportunities to support their long-term development work as well. And it's one thing for us to talk about this process, and a lot of you have been involved in it amazingly already by collecting items for us, but we wanted to try and help you to see it as well. And as Frickie said, we can't send people to different countries at the moment. Hopefully soon there'll be opportunities for that, more to come. So we've prepared instead a short video to help us all kind of understand more clearly the journey of a gift. That was kind of the inspiration for this evening, was thinking, how does a gift go from arriving on your doorstep to being in the hands of somebody across Europe who really needs it? So we're going to watch this video together. There might be some familiar faces in there, and then we'll get to hear from one of our partners in Romania, Frank, who's joined us this evening, and he's going to share about what it looks like on his end to receive the aid. So
hello, hi. Oh, did you just, these were donations?
Yeah, that's my donations.
Oh, thank you so much. That's going to be a real blessing to us. Here's just some info about the charity. Thank you. All right, take care.
Bye.
Okay, so now I've got my bag. Let's put it in the outbuilding. So in we go. Pop it off. Oh, it's getting a bit full, isn't it? Better call Ellie.
hello.
Hi Ellie, hi, it's Emma from Cambridge. Hi, how are you? Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, our outbuilding is getting a little bit full. Are you available to come and pick it up from Cambridge sometime?
Oh yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm on my way.
The 27th? Yep, absolutely. Okay, all right, well, we'll see you then. All right, cheers. I'll have it all ready. All right, take care. Bye.
What are we doing, boys?
Cleaning the van.
Yeah. Where are we going?
Driving.
Yeah.
Hi team, this is Ali driving the van. Looking rather relaxed behind the steering wheel. And then this is me. Really relaxed.
Hi Michael, it's Ellie from GAIN UK. We have got a container full of pack boxes ready to go to people in poverty and crisis overseas. Could you arrange a lorry for us and sort all of the customs paperwork? Brilliant, you're a star. Thanks so much, bye.
can answer it. I've got battery.
As you just saw, that was our shipment that went over to Romania and ended up with Frank and the community that he works with there. So that's where all those boxes that were packed and sorted ended up. As Ellie mentioned, Frank has been a long-term partner of Gain UK. And I actually first met him, I think, over 6 years ago. We've been in touch and with a number of teams, and I've had the privilege of seeing the project and the work they've done there just develop over the years. And I think even one time I was there when a massive truck drove up the tiny lane from Gain Netherlands and was unloaded there as well. So I know the excitement that we feel when we get to send a shipment, but also the excitement when it comes the other end. So yeah, obviously, as Ellie mentioned, we've been able to send a lot of shipments and support refugees, but our heart also is to be supporting in situations of ingrained poverty, where there's an ongoing situation. It's not so much a crisis, but there's a community that have experienced poverty over many years and generations, in fact. And so we're delighted that we, at the moment, exactly when Frank was ready and needed some donations this year, we were able to send what we'd collected from amongst the network in the UK. And so, yeah, let's hear from you, Frank. We'd love to hear what you're doing, if you could share a little bit about what you're doing in Rise2Shine and also about the community that you're working with.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Frank. I'm originally from the Netherlands and now for a little bit more than 11 years active in Romania, together with my wife. We work in some slums next to the garbage dump. There are a total of 4 slums with around 3,000 Roma gypsies living there. Most of them work from the garbage dump, so they go every morning to the garbage dump to collect to the rubbish, and most of them collect plastic bottles and this kind of bottles, and they're quite light, but they sell them by kilograms, so not a piece but by kilograms. So you can understand that if you collect them and you need a kilogram and you sell them by kilogram, you need quite a lot in order to make a living. So it's hard work for the people. They live in poor houses, slums made of wood, what they found. And yeah, this is where we work, around 3,000 people. We focus mainly on children and teenagers, because there's another organization that does more with adults. And we have different kids programs with the children. Before, well, now with Corona, everything is a little bit different. But before Corona, we had one program that you saw the picture of, where more than 100 kids were coming in the building that we have there. Next to that, we also have a teen program, and out of our teen program, we selected some of the teenagers that we wanted to invest more in. And my wife does this program. She selected 8 girls that are with us now for, I think, I don't know, 6 years, I think, that we selected them. They come weekly to our house. We eat with them, we teach them something. And once a month, they also stay over, and we have a whole weekend with them. We decided to invest more in them so we can teach them more, we can help them more, we can be there for them, listen to them, and see where there is a need, and to be there with them. So with Corona, things are a little bit different, but we focused, we tried especially the small programs to keep running as long as possible. And we did more construction in this period to expand, to work on the facilities where we have the girls when they stay over. And this is in general what we do. My wife also does home visits where she goes into the neighborhood, she talks with the people, they share about their life, about their struggles. And this is also where she hears where the need is. And yeah, that's where it connects with what you guys are doing. It's so nice to see the whole process. You guys know the process from your ends. I know it from my end, and now I see that part. It was very nice to see. And yeah, when my wife does visits, she knows how the families are, and that's where she can go. And she goes to the clothes, she makes bags for the families, especially on how many kids they have, how big the kids are. And that's, yeah, a little bit very short what we do.
Amazing. Yes, it's just a snapshot, but it's so great to hear. And it's, I mean, Frank touched on it briefly, but it's an incredibly tough environment for the communities, the families that live there. And it's incredibly tough place to work for people like Frank and Rita, who have themselves invested their lives really into working with this community, and we get to support them and play a really small part, it feels, but I know how much it's valued and appreciated that they know we're with them, that we're part of that network, supporting what they're doing. Maybe you could share a little bit more about why you and particularly the people that you work with need the supplies that we send. What's the kind of needs on the ground?
Yeah, as I shared, it's like a slum, so the people really live in makeshift houses. And here in Romania, it's getting quite cold. So it started freezing now, but we will go mostly to -18, 20 mostly we don't touch, but -18 we regularly get there. So it's very cold for the people and in the houses. And then in summer we go up to 30 degrees.
Wow.
So these families, every season they need new clothes, and the clothes that were good for the children in one winter, they outgrow next winter. And then there is a problem with storage. Like if they keep the clothes in the house, their conditions are so poor that sometimes the houses leak, the clothes get wet. There is a problem with a lot of rats that go through the houses, that eat clothes. So every season there is a new need of clothes for the people.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's really good to know what is the situation and why this is so helpful. It'd be really great to hear if you're able to. I know sometimes it's hard to share, particularly about a specific situation, but if there is someone that comes to mind that you can share about who has kind of benefited from receiving things through your work.
Yeah, we have this one particular lady. She calls Rita very regular, that she always wants clothes.
Okay.
And so Rita went to a visit to her to see the conditions that she lives in. And she came home shocked. And for us, like, to be shocked after 10 years means that it were very poor conditions that she lived in. She shared that the house was empty, like there were 2 beds and a stove, and that was it. There were like no storage, no wardrobes, no cupboards, just 2 old beds and a stove. And she has 8 children. Her husband is in prison, and she tries to survive. And she regularly calls Rita for clothes. So yeah, this is one of the families where the clothes go. And yeah, I think that when it comes to clothing, she is completely dependent on us because she can hardly make ends meet. It's hard for her to feed the children. That's why the house is empty. And sometimes people in the camp say, don't give to her because she sells some of the clothes that you give. But at least she eats, and the clothes go to another poor family. It's difficult, but yeah, the kids also wear the clothes because it's the only thing they have. And we saw other families where kids even exchanged jackets. We had a team meeting and a girl runs out of the house. She goes to her sister, she takes a jacket from her sister and she comes with us in the van because they have to share clothes. It's such a dire poverty. And you know, we were so thankful for your last load that came. Because of Corona, everything from the Netherlands stopped and we were completely out of transports for quite some while when we received the message from Ellie. And we were like so grateful that you could see me next to the van. I was just so happy. Our storage facility was a little bit off. The truck couldn't come there, so we unloaded everything at our house. And from there, we drove 10 times with the van to get everything.
So thank you so much for coming and joining us at this time. We are going to have some questions later on. Hopefully, I don't know if Frank will be able to stick around until then and leave some space for people if you have questions. But we're going to go on now just to unpack a bit more about what happens on our side and what we can do more to serve and bless in communities like where Frank is working. So over to you, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Frank, for sharing just a little bit more about what you do and how receiving aid is so helpful for you guys. I just wanted to take a quick, just 1-2 minutes before we dive into the next section, interviewing some of our partners here in the UK, just to share a bit more about why we pack and sort in kind of the way that we do. So we try and pack our boxes to be as specific as possible, primarily for the benefit of those receiving the aid, like Frank, and then onwards the people who are actually receiving it. Often the resources on the ground, as you kind of saw from the video and from Frank sharing about even just the width of the driveway to get the van down, that resources and space and manpower is just so limited. And so by us taking a small amount of extra time just to even label things as women's, men's, children's, can just make the distribution process so much easier on the ground. It also gives us the opportunity to be able to assess and remove items that maybe we can't send or we shouldn't send. And so it means that every piece of clothing or blankets or shoes can be used straight away in the context that they received. Because of this, we don't take things like high-heeled shoes or underwear without tags or anything revealing. That for us, this helps us to show love to both our partners on the ground and also those further down the chain receiving this aid. We want everyone to experience love and honour by receiving really great quality items that are actually going to serve the practical need that they have. And we do this because we really believe that every person matters to God, and that's at the very core of what we believe. So after tonight, our collection points and all of you, I think, will get a bit more specific info on some really easy ways to be able to be a bit more specific with the aid you're collecting or giving, just to make the process a bit smoother. As you saw from our videos, we have been absolutely blessed with aid that is just ramming our containers full, and so we want to be able to get that out to people just as quickly as possible, and this really helps us streamline the process. Some of our network, we really are lucky, have already been doing this, and so I'm going to pass back to Ellie, who is going to interview some of them now.
Great. I'm just going to share a little bit before I do the interview, Caitlin, so just pin me first. Great. So yeah, we've kind of thrown out the phrase collection point a few times, and I thought I'd just take a moment to just explain for any newcomers here what a collection point is. I know a lot of you are our collection points, so we're so glad that you're back, but there's some new people. So a collection point in its simplest form is someone with some space in their home and a desire to help, to be part of this relief work process. So a collection point would share what they're collecting with their networks, whether that's work friends or neighbours or church or just their friendship groups. And you collect items, whatever items you want to collect from our list, kind of that Caitlin just mentioned. And whenever you run out of space or start to feel a bit cramped, like Emma did in that video, you call Gain and we come and collect it. And it really is as simple as that. We have a map on our website that shows website visitors where all of our collection points are around the UK. And we've got people kind of all over, and some of you are here this evening, which is so great. Up in the Highlands of Scotland, we've got one, and we've got some down south as well in England. So, and then a couple in Belfast. So we're all covered, except we've got one in Wales as well. Need some more Welsh people, if anyone knows. So yeah, people who visit the website can have a look, find their nearest person, and you can have whatever contact details you feel comfortable with on there so that people can get in touch with you to donate items. We then have a WhatsApp group where our collection points kind of have a little community where they can ask questions about what can or can't be collected. We can share ideas about how to collect or to pack together, and us, the staff team, can give the collection points the latest information on where we're sending stuff and the things that we're collecting. So that's what a collection point is. If you're not one already and you think, yeah, that sounds like something I would love to get involved with, then you'll have opportunity to let us know that on the feedback form at the end of this evening. And as Caitlin said in the video, so we have 2 storage containers, and container 1 is where we put all of our unsorted stuff. And it's quite overwhelming at the moment. And we have packing sessions here in Birmingham as often as we can. But it would be a massive blessing to us, and as Caitlin said, kind of smoothen the process of our relief work if more donations could be sorted before they get to us. It's not an expectation that we have of collection points, but it's just as we said, a way of kind of slickening the process and kind of getting aid out more often as well. So a couple of our collection points have already been doing this kind of off their own back. So we thought it'd be good just to hear from them, and they are going to share with us why they do it and just really practically how they found it. So first up, we've got Wayne and Estelle, who are one of our collection points in Birmingham. So hi, so nice to see you both. Thank you so much for joining. They've been regularly sorting and packing the items that they get before we pick them up. So whichever of you wants to share, could you first just share how and why did you get involved with GAIN?
Yeah, good evening. Thanks, Ellie. It's nice to be with everyone this evening. I'm Wayne. This is Estelle, my wife.
Hello.
And yeah, we got involved basically through our friendship with Frikkie and Amelia, and Frikkie and Amelia are part of the GAIN UK team and introduced us to GAIN. And I think it started with a really sociable cup of coffee somewhere in a very, very cold warehouse, packing clothes into boxes as a group of us.
It was very cold.
And it was just fun, you know. It was fun, and you know, we realized that what we're doing is making a difference. And I think it's about the haves and the have, and we're on this end of the scale. We have so much, and we have so much to give, and that's really where the, let's say, where the involvement came from, was talking and referring. And yeah, I guess that's really how the network is formed. Frikkie started off by talking about the network, and I think the network is formed at its best just by talking and getting others involved in such a way that one realizes that you're making a difference, and at the same time, it's not a big burden and it's not a big job, but it's actually fun, you know, and it makes a significant difference. And that's why it was nice to see the route, to see, you know, where it starts from, and the route it travels until it gets to, yeah, a family somewhere in Romania that are desperate in a house only with shared with us. And that touches everybody's life. So when you can touch somebody's life like that, and you realize what you're doing, you want to do more. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we got started. And I think it's looking for like-minded people, you know, when you're talking to somebody. I think that's important too, because when you get others involved and they start to participate, then it really, it's like the snowball that gathers and becomes bigger. So it's nice to be part of it, and it's nice to be part of a solution. Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that. And who are those people that you found that have kind of mostly engaged with the collections? Like, how wide have you advertised it? Who are the people that you found engaged?
Well, I mean, we can certainly do a whole lot more, to be honest with you. So we've really just touched the surface, and where we've had the best response has certainly been directly in our neighborhood. So we have 110 houses, and we have a street watch, and I've been involved in the street watch for some time, and I thought, you know, that's a great place to start, is in the neighborhood, and on the WhatsApp group. So Estelle and I posted a few things on the WhatsApp group, and she's been a lot more involved, I would say, in the let's say in the daily collection of goods. And so we would put invitations out to the neighborhood and say, guys, anybody with clothing, and we put a bit of a description out of what they need. And I have to say that the starter pack that you sent us, you know, I want to say starter pack as a collection point, made a huge difference for us also just in engaging with everybody, because having the leaflets in there that explains who GAIN is, what GAIN does, what your passion is, what our joint passion is, that's really helpful. So you can hand that out, that communicate what you're busy doing. And yeah, and then, you know, we put an invitation out for those to drop some clothes off. And yeah, Estelle's at home more often than I am. Do you want to say something about the drop-offs?
Yeah, basically the people that drops off the clothes, they talk to their friends again and say, this is what we're doing, and if you've got clothes, just give it to us. And so I've got 2 or 3 ladies that regularly drop off clothes from where they get it again from their friends and stuff like that. So, and it's also just, I think what people, it's like Wayne say, it's not a huge thing, and I think which helps a lot for you guys is if we pack the boxes and label them and say what's in there, it saves a lot of time, because have time to go to the container and help, but that's just a small amount of time that you can take once a week, every day, or however you want to do it. So it works well for us that way to help in.
Yeah, I mean, we do it every now and again. We'd say, well, garage is getting a little bit full, it's a little bit untidy there. We bring everything in the house. We do the sorting, we get the boxes open, get the goods into the boxes, tidy it up. And again, nice to have from you the labels for the boxes that we can very clearly mark whether it's, you know, men's or women's or children's and what's in there. It's great to have those labels. Just pull them off, stick them on the box. Works well. You've given us some tape, some branded tape, which is nice to get over the box there. And
everything's on brand in GAIN.
Yeah, there you go. Some branded tape.
Yeah, I saw. Well done.
And yeah, and you know, something else which I think is great as well is the thank you card. So we've used the thank you cards together with the small gift, which is, you know, called a pen. You know, sometimes we've gone into the cupboard there and taken out a little chocolate and just put a chocolate with a thank you card through somebody's door. And, you know, it's a thank you, but at the same time, it's showing a bit of love, you know, and it's showing a bit of appreciation, and it goes a long way. And so just from a really practical point of view, I mean, we gather boxes from wherever we can. Don't get me wrong, it's not like we're driving around looking for boxes, but we order from HelloFresh. So every week we have a HelloFresh box, which we try to bring it in as quickly as we can so it doesn't get weathered outside. We also have a special needs daughter, and she's using nappies or pads, whatever you'd call them. And so these also arrive in boxes, and we use those boxes. You know, Amazon, if you speak to your neighbors and you speak to your friends, speak to those around you, everybody's ordering from Amazon. And they're not always very big boxes. Obviously, we don't want small boxes because they're not going to help. But look out for those. And then another interesting one was I was in the local shop the other day. So it's these kind of corner shops, I want to say, not the big Morrison's types, but the smaller corner shops or local what's it, Tesco type shops, that they're ordering a lot of goods in. For example, cereals and chips, crisps, like Lay's. So they order those in, and those come in boxes that are normally in pretty good shape after they've been used. So it's quite easy to get. And then you've got the boxes and you've got the clothing. And I mean, as I said, having the experience of packing with Gain before, going into the container number 1 there in the truck yard, it's not, it's not the nicest place to be. And if one can almost eliminate that kind of step by doing some of the stuff comfortably in your home, and we do it as a family together, so it's a bit of family talk time, and it's counting your blessings really as you're doing it, and making a difference. So that's really, from a practical point of view, also how we do it.
I love all that. Thank you so much for sharing. And the bits that Wayne mentioned, like the labels and things, Sarah's going to show us a bit later on. If you become a collection point, you get like a kit that will help you to do all of the things that Wayne and Estelle have been talking about. So thank you so much for sharing kind of your vision of why you get involved and what motivates you to keep going. And yeah, just your comment at the beginning was saying you could do more. What we really encourage with our collection points is that you take the initiative with what capacity you have. So do not feel like you're not doing enough. And if anyone's thinking, oh, this is a big thing, when I first got involved, I just did a nappy appeal. I didn't advertise that I collected everything. So you can collect whatever you feel you have capacity to do. So yeah, we appreciate you both so much. So thank you very much for sharing with us.
Thank you, Ellie.
And next we're going to speak to Emma, the star of our video, who is one of our collection points, or the collection point in Cambridge. So hi Emma, nice to see you.
Hi, Ellie.
Emma took it upon herself recently to rally the troops and organise a little packing party with some of her friends. And so, yeah, it was like just different to the way that Wayne and Estelle do it. So I thought it'd be really great to get Emma on to chat about that a bit more, to see if that's something that other people might want to do. So Emma, how have you found being a Gain collection point so far?
Yeah, I found it really good. Like you say, it's not a lot of work. It's really just being like available, and it's really just being a person to just connect the resources to the people. I feel like there is so much in Cambridge where I live. There are a lot of really kind people that want to help, and there are a lot of people with quite a lot to give, really. The place is just kind of like pregnant with people that want to give things. And my job was just to make people aware of the need, and people already have a strong desire to give stuff and are already kind of in the practice of giving stuff away. A lot of goods get exchanged in Cambridge. I was already in a group. I'm in a mum's group, part of my church, and about 90% of the conversation is people like giving away baby items and saying, oh, does anyone need this? It's like lots and lots of exchanging. That is a culture that already exists in Cambridge. So I knew it was a great place to be able to connect some of that with the really needy, with the places that have the most need, that Gain has the connections to. It's been good.
Love that. So yeah, like you say, there was that culture there, and you were just sort of saying, hey, this is an option, and people go, brilliant, I want to do that. That's so great.
Just tapping into what was already going on.
Yeah. And so why did you decide to run a packing event rather than just do it yourself?
I was inspired by being part of this WhatsApp group that you mentioned, the collectors WhatsApp group, and lots of people were showing pictures of their packing parties, and it looked pretty easy and it looked really fun, and I thought, oh, I could do that, because I've got a garden and I've got big shed like you saw in the video, and I also thought it would be a great way to build community as well. And I'm somebody who network anyway, for various reasons, and to bring people together and to create community. And I thought it would be a fun experience to get different people in a shared goal, not only to give them more of a feeling of like owning the gain work, the giving that they do, but also to connect with each other and to create, just the shared experience of a community doing something together. And it was a really kind of bonding experience. What the packing party that we did, it was mostly people from my church and another guy who I know, and it was just like something really practical that we could do together as a team. And I think people wanted to help, people who just have that need to just help out in a practical way. They were just like really pleased to be able to do that. And I just thought, I'm not gonna be able to do this myself, actually. That was one of the key reasons. But
Absolutely.
I've got 3 little kids and a baby, so I've got a lot of I just, you give what you can, what your resources, and I don't have a lot of time or kind of physical strength, but I know a lot of people, so I thought, and it really wasn't hard. I just kind of activated my network really simply, and people did the work. I just was one person there among 5 people just sorting it, and it didn't take very long at all. It took about an hour and a half to pack about 30 boxes because we had a big 5 people. So that I wanted to help. I wanted to do, like you say, that little bit extra, just to make it a little bit easier at your end, take a little bit of a burden, just be as helpful as we could, rather than doing just the bare minimum. Just kind of I realised that you guys have got a lot of things to sort out. I think seeing some of those pictures kind of made me think, wow, this could really help them.
We took someone to the container recently and opened it, and she just went, oh. It's like, we're not lying when we say we're full. But no, I love that element you're saying about it, just thinking about who else can I like bring into this, like you're a really natural networker, but like Wayne and Estelle talked about that, being aware that we have so much, and how can we help people who need, and there's lots of other people who feel that way but just don't know what to do about it. So it's just engaging them in the process, and bonding, and just deepening friendships and making new friendships, and it's just fun, like you said. I love that. It was just fun. So super practically, where did you get your boxes from? Just answer that first.
So it was just, like I said, the whole process was really easy. I'm on this Christian mums, church mums WhatsApp group, and I just said, does anyone happen to have any boxes? It was like just a few days before the packing party. I was like, I can't go around driving places getting boxes. I just need this to happen. And somebody that week had moved house and had about 50 large boxes they were trying to get rid of. So it was amazing. It really worked out. I just drove to their place, put all the boxes in the car, and then we had all the boxes. It was fine. They were massive. It worked out.
Brilliant.
I did in mine now. I gave the way I invited people to come. So I gave a little notice in our church newsletter, and I said, well, if you have a box, bring a box. So some people boxes that had also donated clothes, and I said, well, if you've got any boxes as well, bring. So a few people did, but we didn't really need those in the end because we just had so many boxes from this lady that had just moved house.
Love it. That sounds great. I love that. That's the thing, is it just ask for help, and people usually need to get rid of stuff. So that's brilliant. Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Emma. Again, it's just so great to hear people's motivation and what's enjoyable about being a gain collection point. So really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And so perhaps that's inspired some of you to think about whether if you're already receiving donations, or if you'd like to, that you might have capacity to do a bit of sorting and packing as well. Like I said, it's not something that we expect of our collection points, but if it can be done, it speeds up the process of sending aid for us, which is great. So Sarah is going to talk through some really practical ideas of how you can do this if you want to, and she's going to show you those collection kits that Wayne and Estelle talked about too.
Thanks, Ellie. It's great to hear from all the others who've been having a go at this in different ways. So how would you go about doing this? You've already hopefully picked up a few ideas, tips and pointers from Emma and Wayne and Estelle there. So you have heard about this wonderful thing, which is contained in this box, which is the collector's kit or starter kit, however you want to call it. And so, yeah, basically we put together a practical box of things that you may be able to make use of. And what we have is a lovely fleece, which, you know, you definitely want to be wearing around the house or just, you know, up and down the road. And the tape that Wayne mentioned, and thank you cards for people who are dropping off donations and even people who come to any packing parties that you do. And we also have included some giving forms and envelopes, which if people want to contribute a little financial gift as well towards sending the donations in the truck overseas. And yeah, some information about what we do and the different things we get involved in as GAME is included in there as well. And helpfully, these very swish labels that you can mark up what is in each box, and so that when it's sent, people can find out what's in it before they open it, which is very helpful. And even a pen and some chocolate. This box is amazing. And soon to be sent out to our existing collector points and will be a new addition are these snazzy little cards, which include how people can keep track of us, follow us on social media, find our website, keep in contact. And so one of the things we just wanted to say to you guys who are already having people come and drop stuff off at your homes, or when you do gather people together to do a packing session, be great to let people know how they can keep in touch with us as well. Maybe they want to know where their donation went and find out more about projects or how they could get involved. And so one simple way is handing them one of our little cards that has our contact details, social media, all that kind of stuff. And we'll be sharing them with you as well. For those tech savvy people just already online, you can find a link to a form to fill in to get signed up on our emails, to get regular emails from us. The link for that form is in the bio for Instagram and also on Facebook. And so that's another place you can direct people to. We'd rather avoid you taking their information and signing up. We'd much rather that they can just go directly and sign up themselves. That would be the best way, data-wise, would be great. But we'll be sharing those with you. And so, yeah, other practical pointers would be just thinking about, well, yeah, I'd love to do this, but actually my living room's too small, so how could I go about doing that? Perhaps you are connected with a community centre or with a school or a church group that you might be able to just say, can we have your space for an afternoon, or have people drop stuff off there for a couple of days before and then have your packing party. Maybe somebody down your street has got a bigger garage and they can get involved just even for 1 week of having a place to pile in the donations and then do an extra special packing party. We've had a few comments about boxes. I think somebody mentioned that the boxes that the lateral flow tests get distributed in to schools. If anyone has a contact in a school, I think those boxes are really good and solid. But the other thing is that we can bring you boxes. So if you get in touch with us and let us know what you're up to and when you're planning to do an event, we can turn up and we can bring boxes and stick around if you want us to be there, and we can kind of organize it to take them away and drop you new ones for the next time as well. So we're very happy to do that, send you more labels, send you more tape, whatever you need, just let us know and we can send it to you. Yeah, so different ways that you could be advertising it, obviously in your own social media networks, in your WhatsApp groups, local news and newsletters that go out into your community is always a good way to let people know what's happening. One of the things that we're gonna send around to you that through after the event is just a bit of a how-to guide. If you're thinking, oh, this is a lot of information, how can I actually do this? Kind of a step-by-step how to run a packing party. we'll send that round to you. You can have more information. And of course, there's the WhatsApp group that Emma mentioned, I think a few others mentioned, as just a way to ask questions, find out from other collection points, what have they done, what's worked. You can share ideas. It's probably the best way to find out what the peoples have been doing. So I think that was most of the practical points. There might be things I've forgotten, but do ask questions, and we can see what other people can answer. So I'm going to hand over to Heidi to wrap us up.
Yes, thank you very much. Most of you have been really very patient in getting a lot of information from us, and you might have questions. So if you have questions, do ask us. Just unmute yourself and then ask us a question. Or if you have a question for Frank, you can ask him a question, or you can put it on the chat if you are able to. I was thinking, I'm looking at the time, it's almost 9 o'clock, and we said we'll end at 9 o'clock. So Fricky, shall we do the feedback and then come back with the question? Because some people might want to leave at 9.
Yeah, I think if you need to leave at 9 o'clock, we will excuse you. I think what we will do is send out an email with these questions and the answers on that. But if you can stay a little bit longer, maybe 5 to 10 minutes longer, we'll appreciate it very much. And then we can answer a few questions, and then we can do the feedback just after that. So maybe fire away with those questions, especially to Frank. We've got Frank, he's still here. He's very late in Romania. I can see he's still awake. So please, if there's any questions from you guys in the chat, if you want to just ask the question, that will be brilliant.
Yeah, I have a question for Frank, because you talked about the children that you serve in the community. What age group are the children who are coming? And then you said that you've been doing this for 6 years, so you might have seen children growing up. So I wanted to know, have you seen any children coming regularly and changes in their lives, maybe?
Yeah, there are almost 3 questions there. So we have been doing the work for 11 years. So the group of girls that comes to our house is a new group of around 6 years now. Mm-hmm. The first group of teenagers, they have children already. So we see the children of the teenagers that they are coming to the program. The age group of the kids programs, actually it's, we have teen mothers bringing their newborns to the programs. So basically it goes from 0 to 16 or something like that. Mostly we try to focus at 4 to 11, and after that the children go to our teen program. But the teen mothers come to the kids program. Well, they say for their babies, but it's more for themselves because they also enjoy the programs. Okay. But our main focus is 4 to 11, but we basically see all different ages. And yeah, we do see change in the children that are coming, different change. We had one group with children that hardly go to school, from one of the poorest of the slums. All the slums are poor, but there is one that is like even worse, where they don't even have electricity. And there we handed out some candy, and one child went to the door, opened the door, and just threw the candy outside. And I told the child, look, we have a garbage can next to the door. And the child just looked at me like I was completely crazy or from another planet. And we had to teach that particular group to use the garbage can. So now after 2 years, we see that when they receive something or when they wash their hands with the napkin, that they throw it in the garbage can. And well, in some countries, it's kind of a given. But here where we are, that was like, whoa, we taught them something very basic, but we see a change.
So
and yeah, this is one of the changes that we saw. One of the biggest changes I saw was with a girl in the beginning of the program. She was just very aggressive. Every program I had to send her out because she didn't behave. But every week I invited her again. I kept greeting her when I saw her. And at a certain moment, I set her out of the program again. She kept kicking the door, and the door just broke. Like I saw a foot going through the door. And after a while, she calmed down, and she could sit through the whole program. Then she insisted that she would help while I was handing out the drinks. And yeah, we just saw such a change with patience, being kind. The child just changed. And it's one of the examples that stood out most for me, because he was just so aggressive. And then she became someone that helped. Or during the team programs, she was the first one to come. She would sit in, at the end, she would say nothing. She wouldn't greet me. But when I wouldn't be there, she would ask my wife, like, where's Frank? And sometimes you don't know what a change you do in people, but there are definitely changes going on. Yeah.
I could imagine that the way you treat her, like helping, discipline the children, it's a different kind of treatment they get, and they learn from you. So life lessons that they get. We have two questions in our chat. It says here, will there be any packing parties coming up? Maybe Ellie, can you answer that question?
I can. Muted, sorry. So here in Birmingham, we are trying to organise packing sessions as regularly as possible, just at our containers. If you're not in Birmingham, then over to you is my response. If you think, I can gather a few people together, want to kind of go over the practicals of what that might look like, then we're going to be sending out lots of really practical ways that you can organise a local packing party for you, and we can come and help if needed. So
maybe if I can also just come in here. So if you do want to organize a packing party where you are, we can also bring our van full of black bags to you, and we'll bring boxes, and we can really assist you in doing a very nice packing session. So don't be afraid or ashamed to ask us. We'll be gladly coming to you and help you pack.
I guess if we have a packing session coming up, it will be advertised on the collection point, maybe, so people can join and can sign up if they want to join us. Another question is, do you have any posters I can put up about being a collection point? That's a very good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think not currently, but we definitely will make some, because that's great to be able to, just like mobilize your networks to be able to know that this is what you're doing. If there's something specific, I know Sharon asked the question, but for anyone, if there's something specific that you'd like on like a leaflet or a poster, let us know, and we can kind of tailor that to be able to make it as easy as possible for you guys to be letting people know that this is what we're all about.
I think we are very dependent on feedback from the collection points of what you need to be successful. So if you're successful, we'll be successful, so please let us know what you need, and we'll do our best to produce that as quickly as possible and send it out to you guys.
For sure.
I think it's important that when one has a need, that you describe your need as best as possible.
Yeah.
So would the poster be an A4 leaflet that you can stick on the notice board at your local Morrison's, or what is it? Is it something that needs to withstand a bit of weather because it's going to be outside? I think one needs to be clear on that, because obviously costs can go very quickly with printing, and then then the material gets wasted. So just practical thought.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Laminated posters. Does anybody have any questions?
It's a question for Frank.
Okay, question for Frank. Have you seen a change in the mindset amongst the Roma community, where they have gone from being stuck in a cycle of poverty to a state of flourishing? Very good question.
Yeah, we have seen it, but very, very rare. One of the best ways to get out of the camp is through marriage. So finding somebody that's not in the camp and getting married outside. There have been some projects where social housing was provided. So that would help people, but in general not. People that are born there or live there, it's very hard for them to get out. We see some changes in the community in general, that the houses are getting a little bit better, that there are more cars, that the people are getting better dressed. We see illiteracy going down, more stable jobs instead of at the garbage dump. So we do see changes, but to talk about real flourishing or people really going out, yeah, not yet, unfortunately. But we do see changes compared to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it is really difficult process, and I really appreciate your effort. I mean, you've been there for years and years, and to have invested all your energy and everything else in that community. Yeah, it is to be admired. Anyway.